MLBDW solo pod with John Anderson. He's lonely and sad and monotone.
Yes, I haven't been on here in a couple weeks, but nothing's changed. I don't change. I come and go, and you never know when you're going to hear from me again, but the voice is the same. It's the same. It's not somber. I'm not a somber guy, but very the same all the time, you know? Monotone is a good word for it. So I said we would do some listener reader questions, and that's what we're doing. So welcome to the podcast with just me, and you guys are in charge here. So here it started with someone in Discord asking me about Ryan Weathers. Is it time to get rid of Ryan Weathers? And my first reaction, so I try to be on top of this stuff like every day. I try to look at every pitcher. I don't write about them all. I don't have that much time. Like, I don't know how people do that. There's really it's only the pitcher list dude that does that, and he's full time mostly, I think. But it's impressive. Like, I mean, maybe he has someone helping him too. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. There's only so many hours on the day. Only so many things I can read. But he like writes up every pitcher, like looking ahead and back. That's pretty sweet and super useful. So I don't even really know why anybody would go to me for pitcher stuff, but appreciate that you do. Go check out that if you need like daily pitcher stuff. That said, like me and Hunter are going to get this. It's out now. A little starts and sits action twice a week. Look ahead, kind of give you an idea of pitchers to start, sit, and some thoughts about the ones that need thoughts said about them. Ryan Weathers, I'm going to pop a little zinni in. You guys like nicotine at all? I don't know. I kind of got on it lately, and I like hate it and I love it at the same time. But we're keeping it low dose and, you know, everything in moderation. But it's good for podcasts. Ryan Weathers has given up. I guess I see here why this guy's asking the question. 5 earned runs. Here, let's get some screenies going. Let's get the screenies going for those people watching. You know, maybe a better show watching. Probably a terrible show no matter what. Ryan Weathers, 6.2 innings, 2 starts ago, May 30th, 10 strikeouts, and give up 5 runs. So you're like, okay, I gave up 3 home runs. But, you know, I'll take 10 strikeouts, just a little bit bad luck timing. And then June 5th, Ryan Weathers, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. His ERA is up to 3.86, a 1.16 whip. The key point, I could answer this one real quickly. Just look at the K to walk ratio, man. The K minus walk percent, I guess is the way to say that. 79 strikeouts to 20 walks. Okay, maybe you're a little bit upset lately. You know, let's look at from May 2nd on the dashboard. I'm not showing it, but the dashboards are elite and you should use them. 39 strikeouts to 12 walks. That's 26% K rate, 8% walk rate. Still pretty good. I mean, 18% there. The home runs, though, right? I mean, the good thing about what we are doing, baseball people like me can do, is we can predict stuff. I mean, I'm terrible at predicting the future if you judge it on like, oh, like, did he get everything or did he actually get that right? You know, like you know, whatever. I was super on Emmett Sheehan, and I was like off of Hunter Brown. I mean, that only worked out because of injury, but, you know, I was wrong about a ton of stuff. I got a few. I was a big Misiorowski guy before the season, but it's just kind of funny. Like, we all act like we're experts here, and like I know, like I don't know anymore, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. Like, if you guys are well versed in the numbers, the advanced data, the handful that actually matter, you know what they are, and you look at them a lot, and you kind of just spend some time on it, which probably most people do. Like, you can do anything I can do, besides maybe the coding and the dashboards and stuff. But anyway, the point of that being to say that we told you that Ryan Weathers would give up home runs before the year started, and he has done that. Now it's a 20% home run to fly ball rate, which is 5 points above the expectation. Maybe the expectation in Yankee Stadium is a tick higher than that. I think the league home run to fly ball ratio is like 14 or 15%. That's if you're using Baseball Savant data or my dashboards. If you're looking at Fangraphs, it's lower. It's like 12% because Fangraphs stupidly calls pop-ups fly balls. Like, I don't know why you would do that. So it's going to be higher with Baseball Savant. Weathers, though, a 42% ground ball rate. That's low. It's not like horrible. It's not like he's Shota Amanaga or something like that. He's got a 27% fly ball rate, which isn't that bad. It seems like kind of some bad luck on the home run front and probably some poorly timed ones lately with the 5 runs given up. So unless there's not even really an unless, right? If you have a 20% K minus walk ratio, you just start the guy, okay? That's the answer. You don't give up on Ryan Weathers yet. It's 20% K to walk ratio. There's no reason if you get past like 6-7 starts of a guy and he's got 20 points between his K rate and his walk rate, you freaking start them. What do we got next? Let's see. I'm doing this. We got one guy filled out the mailbag, which I neglected. I told you before the season, I shouldn't bring this up because it's embarrassing, but I told you before the season that I would do a weekly mailbag podcast and I haven't done it. There's just no time. I'm sorry. Like, again, I'm still just waiting for somebody to give me, all I need is $1/4 of $1 million one time, and then I will do this all the time. That's all I need. Just one super rich guy to hook me up. Maybe Elon. Does Elon play fantasy baseball? He could just, throw me a bone. Zach says, you talked about the Vegas A's in the Daily Notes this morning, he means, but failed to address the fraudulent run Gelof is on. Is it Gelof? Is it Gelof? Zach Gelof? These are the things I don't have to deal with. This is me talking now. I don't have to deal with pronunciations when I'm writing the Daily Notes. So it's only on this stupid podcast when I have to decide. I think it's Gelof. The fraudulent run that Zach Gelof is on, after game 1 in that park, I picked him up and wouldn't have won this week without him. Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a sharp move to pick up some athletics last week as they played in Vegas, and they're still in Sacramento. Now they play 7 games in Sacramento this week, so I think you just ride them out. That's going to turn into, I guess, yeah, that would have counted against their 81 home games. They're going to end up playing 2 straight weeks of home games in 2 different places. That's kind of goofy, but Gelof, 259 average now, 4th. Why would I even quote batting average? Why would I even say that? Who cares? But I guess this is where the fraudulent part comes in from Zach. 259 batting average, but 229 expected. He's got a 25% K rate, a 291 expected WOBA, which is very low. 320 is about the league average of WOBA. So he's been pretty lucky, you could say. BABIP of 306, that's nothing out of control, but higher ground ball rate, 47%. 6 of 8 barrels have gone for homers. He's pulled 5 of them, though, so that kind of tracks. Doesn't hit the ball super hard. EV 90 on fly balls for Gelof, 103.4. That's not what you want. It's not good enough, Zach. He steals bases, though. Does he? I mean, he always did, but we're pulling this up. We're learning. I'm learning right along with you. Gelof, 17% attempt rate, 6 steals in 51 games. That's pretty good. That's like times 3. That's almost a 20 steal pace or something like that. Is he playing every day? We got to check that too. There's a lot of stuff to check around with here. I'm going to do it on the dashboards. Maybe I should share the freaking screen. Gelof last 10 days. He has started all 11 games, hitting 7th or 8th. So fraudulent, yes, in the way that the expected stuff is way higher than the actual, or way lower than the actual, but the park, the skills, he's 56% owned. I don't know. That's probably about right. Low walk rate is going to be not bad on base percentage. You have to wonder if the strikeouts won't come up a little bit. He's a medium swing guy, 47% swing rate. That's right at the league average. So he's not a guy that's like up there tempting pitchers to just not throw him anything. He's fine. I think like 10-team league, it's a no. 12-team league, it's depending on, it's borderline there if you need whatever position he plays. I think he's got second base eligibility, which probably makes a big difference for you. So you talked about, but failed to address. He didn't ask a specific question. He just said I failed to address it. Well, now I addressed it, Zach. So there you go. Let's go to the next one. And that's going to be, here we go. This one. Dominic, I got to pull up this actual tweet. Okay. Dominic Crayboy 2 says I love everything you do for the community. What do I? Okay, thank you. I guess I do things for the community. I guess I probably do more than anybody else, besides the aforementioned Nick Pollock, who writes 20 hours a day. So yeah, okay. I was gonna like question you on that, but I guess that makes sense. The community. I just don't like being called a community, I guess, but that's what it is. It's a good word. 8-man league rank which? How many of these pitchers are replaceable to use as a daily stream? 4 acquisitions a week. Instead, since such a shallow league. English language, guys. How many of these pitchers are replaceable to use as a daily stream instead, since such shallow? I think I get what you're saying. Attaching team and scoring settings. Okay, like it's good to attach the league and like we need the context. This is a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because people ask questions like, should I drop this guy? And it's like, I don't know how many teams are in your league. What are the settings? Like, who are the replacement options? And that becomes kind of unanswerable. But then when you send me your whole league setup, like I'm like, oh, I don't really want to look at all this, but okay, that's the point of this podcast. So here's the league settings. I'm not showing it. They're in there. I don't know. It's a points league, innings pitched 3. Looks pretty like standard. You got your 6-point no hitter bonus, perfect game bonus. I guess you need those, but kind of irrelevant. Strikeouts are a point, hit allowed, earned run -2. Okay, so 8-team league. You're wondering which guys can you subject to the waiver wire? Yeah, you got Walbert Urania here. You can go him. He can go yo-yo, right? We'll call it the yo-yo, the up and down. Drop him after the start, pick him up next time, and don't be afraid if you lose him. Urania is safe to do that with. I would hold on tightly to Lodolo. I know that's people aren't going to want to hear that, but Lodolo is an interesting question, and it's a good general rule thing. Like Nick Lodolo was really good last year in his major league career. He's been pretty good. Last year, he had a 3.33 ERA, a 24% K rate, 5% walk rate. Nick Lodolo, the lefty, and really, really awesome in the second half, and that got people excited for this year. He's made 6 starts this year, and it hasn't been good, 17% K rate. But, like, you probably need at least 3. Like, I typically forgive the first 3 starts in these kind of situations with Lodolo type, where they had a late start to the season, and basically they're kind of doing their spring training, like, in the middle of the year, and then you get to the major leagues and these hitters are all already warmed up and cooking. So it was a really bad start for Lodolo, giving up 12 earned runs in his first 3. Since then, he's had like really not a good start. He had 1 good start, a quality start against the Mets, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks, one run. Last time, 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 strikeouts, 25-14 K to walk. I guess it's been enough to say, like, okay, 6 starts and you're still not doing it. 10-team league, 12-team league, you hold him because he could just like get right and be very good the rest of the way. But 8-team league, you can probably subject him to the waivers. His upside has never been like total ace. Even last year, he was kind of lucky to do what he did. So I would still hold on to him, but he's someone that you don't have to like. He's not you got McClanahan here. You're not dropping McClanahan no matter what happens. So Lodolo is kind of like fringy, I guess, but I would recommend just hold, see if he kind of starts figuring it out. But you can't hold for too long, and it's an 8-team league. There's probably good players available to replace him with. Sasaki, you got him. You're -7 showing on the screen there for that bad start he had last time. I just kind of would keep going with him. He was looking so good for a month before that, throwing a bunch of strikes. The stuff is really good. Fastball's been a little bit better. The splitter is really good. So keep Sasaki, but if it's another 4 or 5 walk start the next time, or if he gives up a couple home runs in the next couple starts with walks, like, you don't have to hold on, but I wouldn't drop him yet. Noah Cameron, Andrew Abbott, those 2 can definitely go up and down. Those are streamers for sure. No problem if somebody else goes with them. Kind of the same kind of pitcher there, Abbott and Cameron, like not very good strikeout wise, but they throw strikes. They generate weak contact. Abbott's more proven in that regard than Cameron. Cameron just had at the end of his really nice run of things, got roughed up last time. I like both guys fine, but 8-team league is probably not. They don't need to be rostered in an 8-team league. And then here we go, because I was looking at it from top to bottom, and I was like, man, this is a terrible pitching staff for an 8-team league. Like, what are you doing? You should be ashamed. I should block you on Twitter. But Amanaga, Meyer, Wheeler, Ohtani, there's your total lock studs. No matter what happens, short of injury, you keep them. So yeah, Cameron, Abbott, And then you got Hunter Green coming back too, so that'll be nice. But Cameron, Abbott, Urania, Lodolo, less Lodolo, but he can go in that. We'll call it the yo-yo mix. You can go up and down with them. Hopefully that answers the question. What's next? Let's delete some of these. And if you're watching, you can see the Phillies hat because they're giving up on the Pirates again until they win a couple. Every time this was me. Every time I play Trevor Rogers in DFS cash, I win. I might play him tomorrow too. That was a joke by me. Good joke by me because I won't play him. Playing Trevor Rogers tonight in DFS would be, he's not pitching tonight. That's the joke. So hopefully some people got that. Only one like on it, but I liked it. So Treebeard replies to that. You think he's a hold after this? Got the Dodgers next, but what if he's inching back to 2025 form? I looked at that in the daily notes this morning. I don't think it's 2025 form. I think he's just gotten kind of fortunate the last few. The strikeouts are still low. The changeup sucks, which he's got a good fastball. He gets strikes with it. People don't seem to know how to pull the trigger on it or something like that. Like he's always had a really good four-seamer, and that pitch was one of the best in the league last year for him. Got really lucky with home run to fly ball rate stuff from last year for Trevor Rogers. That's not happening. He's back to normal this year. And the changeup was always the money pitch for him, and it's not working this year. So I don't think Trevor Rogers is getting back into form. I would leave him on waivers in normal kind of leagues. Glit Pow says, question, bro. Thank you for calling me bro. That is my preferred. That's my preferred pronoun. It's not a pronoun, I guess. But what is bro? Is that just like I don't know. Pronouns have to be gender, right? Do they? Pronoun? I don't know. I guess we're trying to change all that all the time, but yeah, thank you for calling me bro, Glit Pal. I need to drop Vinny, Rooker, or Logan Henderson since my IL is clogged with Hunter Green. Who do I drop? Thought about adding Blaze or Noelvi Marte as a corresponding move, so that would just be to get you for a few more weeks until Hunter Green comes back. Hunter Green's having a rehab start Thursday. He hasn't pitched. I don't know if he pitched at all in spring. The injury might have happened even before his spring game, so it's going to be a long time. I mean, he's got to have 4, 5, 6 rehab outings, I would think. So you've got a few more matchups before you have to consider that. Anyway, Pasquantino just hit the IL. The Logan Henderson, I haven't checked what the situation with him is. Maybe we can Google that. That guy is always hurt. But, okay, reviewing the brew says the Brewers deliver encouraging update. I'm not even going to click it. I don't want to look at the ads, but that's encouraging update is good. Keep Henderson on your IL. He's obviously very valuable if he gets healthy. He's a very good pitcher with whatever cheating the Brewers are doing. Or if it's probably not cheating, it's probably just them being very good. But if you're just very good at maximizing talent and you're a team that I don't like, then it's cheating. So the answer is Vinny or Brent Rooker. Did Brent Rooker just get hurt again? And this is a really good question. Yeah, Rooker just went on the IL again. So Vinny and Rooker both just went on the IL. This question makes a lot of sense to me now because he's got to get rid of one of these hurt guys. I think you drop Pasquantino personally, but Rooker's not far behind. Rooker's been bad. The bat speed was down last year. I think that's probably even continued this year. But it's Rooker, 14% barrel rate, a lot of strikeouts. I just like him with that park a lot better. If one of these guys, Rooker or Pasquantino, is going to get back in the second half and have a really big second half, I think it's going to be Rooker. Pasquantino clearly was bothered by a back thing. He missed a game, or they thought about putting him on the IL like a month or two ago with a back thing, and then they didn't. But then he's been terrible. 627 OPS for Vinny P. The park moving the fences in doesn't seem to have done anything. And I don't think that's real. Like, obviously, if the fences come in, the park factor has to get better. It's not like what other option is there? But it hasn't worked for Pasquantino. His 30 home runs or whatever it was totally fake. He's like a 22 homer guy, no steals, and the batting average is 230 expected. So I would cut Pasquantino. And I think I already told you that. I think I replied to that tweet. But if you needed to cut Rooker too, I don't think you would end up super crazy regretting that. But you could, that could happen. I just don't really think that's going to happen with Pasquantino. Next question. Let's do this one. We got from Helmut Kormalis. Don't know what that means. Helmut Kormalis. I'm going to have to Google that. Helmut Kormalis. That sounds like some kind of Latin thing. And there's nothing on Google. What does Helmut Karmalis mean? AI. Helmut Karmalis does not have a formal lexical or historical definition. Instead, it's a proper name referring to a specific real individual who occasionally posts in public social media groups. Helmut is a traditional German name given name derived from the Old High German elements helm, to protect, and Karmalis is a surname likely of Greek origin. Did I say Latin? Latin and Greek, those two kind of go together. So I don't know, maybe that's this guy's real name. That'd be a cool name. Cool name, man. Anthony K, 30-team deep dynasty league. Yeah, screw that. Outside of the recent clunker at Philly, he's been decent. Smoke and mirrors or stick with him. So the key point is your 30-team deep dynasty league. What choice do you have, man? What option do you have? I don't think he's been decent. A 7% K minus walk, 9.2% swing and strike rate, 46% ground ball rate, though. He's not good. 21% home run to fly ball rate. It's a little bit unlucky, but the guy's not good. But it's a 30-team deep dynasty league. Who are you going to pick up? I'm in a 30-team dynasty league, and I can't. There's not a single actual major league starter available. So yeah, I don't think K is good, but you don't have a choice. It's 30-team deep dynasty league, unless it's like an 8-team league. No, obviously 30 team times at least. You said deep too. This has got to be like a 900 players roster minimum situation. So anybody with a pulse that plays in major leagues, you can't drop in those leagues. So there's your answer. Drew says, what do you make of Geraldo Perdomo and Kyle Stowers? Both were great last season. That's true. But less great this season. So Perdomo just isn't very good as a hitter, and he just kind of everything went right for him last year. More walks and strikeouts still. So if it's a points kind of situation, that helps a little bit. But 3 homers, he's a decent base stealer, but he's never been like a 40 steal guy or anything like that, where he's making all of his value with stolen bases. Doesn't swing hard, doesn't hit the ball hard. 329 OBP. He's got 20 points higher on the expected batting average than the actual. So he can hit for more batting average. He can do better than this. But I think he's just going to be, Perdomo in 2024 had a 718 OPS, 3 homers, 9 steals in 98 games. 2023, he had 6 homers, 16 steals in 144 games for Geraldo Perdomo we're talking about. And then last year, he goes off for 750 plate appearances. Like any decent major league hitter is going to have a pretty good season counting stat-wise with that many plate appearances. Hit 20 homers, stole 27 bases, got on base at a 389 clip. So his home run totals, Perdomo, now for his career, are 5, 6, 3, 20, and 3. So that's a little bit of Brady Anderson going on there. No idea what happened last year. Just luck. You can luck into a lot of stuff. So Perdomo's fine for points leagues. He'll probably be better than this. He'll probably get up to his 260, 270 batting average the rest of the way with, a good supply of steals. He's about a 15% attempt rate guy, which is decent. So you can do that. But no, you shouldn't have ever thought. You should never have thought that this guy was going to hit 15 homers a year now. Like last year was a total fake out. So that's the answer there. Kyle Stowers, another guy that I just, I didn't like him either, especially after the couple injuries he had. Stowers last year struck out a ton. He just wouldn't miss on, when he was getting to the ball, it was a barrel every time. He was doing everything perfectly well on contact, and that was going to regress. Batted ball profiles regress too. People like to see an expected WOBA and think it can't regress. You can't have a lucky expected WOBA, but you absolutely can. Every time you swing the bat, there's some % variance chance of getting a barrel or what have you. And he just ran into the positive side of that variance last year. So exit velocities are down this year too. Only 103.8 on fly balls, 105.2 overall. That's 90th percentile exit velocity for Kyle Stowers. And he's hitting way more balls on the ground. Fly ball rate's only at 26%, air pull at 16%, and the strikeouts are still there. So I don't know. It doesn't look good. And again, this is another guy. If you ever see these seasons, I know with Stowers, he doesn't have a long career, but if you see these seasons where all of a sudden a guy goes crazy in one season, you shouldn't expect it to continue. You should expect gravitation toward the career average. 2024, Stowers had a 601 OPS, 35% K rate, and a 1.4% home run rate. So he was terrible at everything. 2025, Stowers, 117 games, 27% K rate, 25 bombs. That was a homer every 5.5 plate appearances, and now he's down to 2.2%. So you're going to be in the middle here. I would guess Stowers is like a 240 hitter with a 3% home run rate, which will go for, I don't know, a 625 times 0.03 would be like a 19 homer pace. So I don't think you need him. I don't think he doesn't do anything besides hitting homers, even when he's going well. Okay, he hit 288 last year, but with the K rate, like that probably wasn't going to happen. This year, on the strikeout side of things, 77% zone contact rate. That's a bad sign. Whiffs a lot, strikes out a lot, doesn't steal bases. I don't think you need to hold on to him in like a 10 or 12 team league, but he could definitely be a guy that hits, 7 homers in July or something like that. Like he's got power, but nothing's really working for him this year. So okay with me to kind of bail on both of those guys, depending on the league setup. Joseph Trimper says, why do I still believe in Brandon Woodruff and Blake Snell? I don't know. Because they're both really good, but they're never healthy. Brandon Woodruff is getting healthy, though, so that's a good reason to still believe in him. Like, I suppose if that shoulder can actually, actually, I don't even know what the injury is, but he had this crazy shoulder thing at the end of last year, and it's just been injury after injury. He just can't be a major league pitcher for long. But the reason you believe in him is because he had a he didn't. He only had a 21% K rate before getting hurt. So I think he's good. He doesn't walk guys. He has some brilliant starts even this year, and he's getting healthy now. You'll see him again. But it was only an 11.7% swinging strike rate. Like even when he was getting strikeouts early on in the year, although he didn't have a huge games this year, really looking at it. He only has one start over a 13% swinging strike rate. So I think he's just cooked. I think the injuries have done him in, and I wouldn't like bank on him helping a fantasy team. Even if he comes back and makes 3 good starts, like the next injury is probably not far away. Blake Snell, I don't know why you still believe in him. He's like, I don't even know if he's going to pitch again this year. So no reason to hold out hope for him. And then even when he gets back, he's a guy that typically can just be terrible for a few weeks and then go on a run when he finally figures it out. But I don't think it's going to happen for him this year. If anything, the Dodgers will be looking specifically to the playoffs to get him going so he can start in the playoffs for them. But no reason to think you're going to get anything from Snell in the regular season. Why doesn't Seattle call up Anderson? Because, well, it's getting harder and harder. I wrote about this in the Daily Notes, but the main reason is because they have 6 legit major league pitchers. I guess right now it's like maybe Luis Castillo or Emerson Hancock can go, but they're just not the Mariners aren't in a position where they really need to call up another pitcher, especially Cade Anderson as a rookie or a first-year player, not a rookie. This is his first full major professional season, and he's already thrown 50 innings. There's no way they wanted him to throw more than 120 innings this year, I don't think. So he wasn't part of the plans. They don't really need him, you could say. And that's probably why he's about to turn 22. So maybe there's a service time thing too here, for these clubs that don't have just all the money in the world. If you call somebody up when you don't really need them, then you start the clock early and maybe you miss a year or 2 of them later on in their career when they're more in the prime, when you really might need them, be dependent on them. So it makes sense if the plan is, okay, Cade, we're going to get you into the swing of things, a full professional year of baseball. You're going to throw 110 innings, and we'll plan on the major league stuff down the road. That makes some sense to me. But it's getting harder and harder because at the other side of this is, what's the point of Cade Anderson pitching in Double-A for you? He's too good for these guys. He's got 76 strikeouts and 7 walks with 2 homers allowed all year. So he's not learning anything there, right? You can't really learn. If I go play one-on-one basketball against my 7-year-old daughter, I will win convincingly, believe me. But I'm not going to learn anything from that. I'm not going to identify, okay, my crossover wasn't quick enough. I got to work on that. So at some point you got to put some, in the Christian theology in the New Testament, Paul says that your faith is proven by fire, right? It's you go through the hard times, and that proves the faith you already had, and that it's a sanctifying experience of, okay, I get into some difficulties. I learn how to deal with them, get out of that, and that makes me better for the next time. But there's no pushback for Anderson in AA, so I don't really get it. He could go to AAA in the Pacific Coast League and try to deal with that, like a little bit better hitters, but just outrageously unfriendly pitcher parks and stuff. And I don't really know. Like the Pacific Coast League isn't like the major leagues. You don't have to learn how to pitch in Coors Field all the time because you don't have to do that in the major leagues. So the Mariners, as we explored today in the Daily Notes, they've kind of just skipped AAA, with Kirby, Miller, and Wu. I didn't look it up specifically, but those guys all have like a handful at most of starts in AAA. And I think a lot of those are even rehab. I think they skipped AAA with a few guys. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that with Anderson. If it were me and they wanted to extend the guy anyway, and they're not thinking contractually, he's obviously better than Luis. Not obviously, we shouldn't say that, he's in AA, but you would have to think like Cade Anderson's got a really good chance to right now be the Mariners' third best pitcher. I think Gilbert and Wu are clearly better, and Kirby's probably, it's not a no-brainer. Bryce Miller looks really good too, but I think Anderson is a better major league pitcher right now probably than Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo at this point in his career. So I think the Mariners would be better if they brought him up, but the reason is just like the innings. They don't want to start the contract year they don't want to start the contract clock, however that works, in a year where they're only going to throw the guy 60 more innings anyway. Like, why not just spend those 60 innings in the minors, take it real easy, and then have the more ideal contract situation? But I don't know. I think they could call up Cade Anderson like right away. It would make sense. Like, he looks, again, 43% K rate, 4% walk rate. So it could go either way, but Cade obviously is doing everything he can possibly do to get the call up to the majors. He looks just so good. Way too good for the minors. Is there a good pitcher in Baltimore? This ended up being a 4-point question for Joseph Trimper. He's got a lot of questions. Is there a good pitcher in the Baltimore system? Define good, I guess. If we look at, let's look at everybody with 7 starts at all levels. Sort by K to walk. This is how you do this thing, guys. Caden Hunter has 31 innings, 7 starts with a 29% K minus walk. So he looks kind of good, but I don't even know what level he's at, and I don't think it's worthwhile looking into it. In terms of like names that are in the major leagues right now, it looks like the answer might be no. Again, depending on what you mean by good, because like these guys are all pretty good at throwing a baseball, a little bit better than you and I. But Shane Baz now has a 20% K rate and a 9% walk rate, and he's given up home runs haven't been a problem, but an 11% K to walk ratio, to me, if you're talking about good being in the context of fantasy leagues, like, no, these guys aren't good. Sorry, that was actually Shane Baz's stats that I just said. Bradish has a 22.5% K rate, 12% walk rate. So walks are a problem. His fastball stings. We knew this all along. I told you his fastball stunk in the spring. And you need a fastball in the major league. Shane Baz, 11% K minus walk. Brandon Young's bad. Trevor Rogers looks bad. We already talked about him. Chris Bassett looks bad. So in the proper context of, are any of these guys good, like, to be used in fantasy leagues? The answer would seem to be no. Sal Stewart. What happened to Sal Stewart? Yeah, me and you both, man. My home league team had him. I thought I was a genius, and then it's all been pretty bad for Sal Stewart. But, take out April. Let's forget about April, and I'll tell you the stats. It hasn't been pretty. Sal Stewart hitting .234, slugging .364, 3 homers in his last 121 plate appearances. Barrel rates down to 7.4%. Good news is .324 expected WOBA. That's about average. .242 expected batting average. That's about average. You don't want average in fantasy leagues. You want better than average, obviously. But, 3 homers in 121 plate appearances. That's like a 12, 13 homer pace. He steals some bases, but he hasn't got on base a ton. 320 OBP is not terrible. Still takes some walks. I think you'll see the up and down. I think the league figured him out. I think he's good enough. The plate discipline, he looked really good. Like power, speed, plate discipline, he had them all going. So I think he'll have another really good month or two. I think he'll be at worst like a league average guy with steals, which is probably good for fantasy leagues. And you might just go ahead and see him explode again after he makes this readjustment. So don't drop him in a 10-team league is my answer to you. Man, I got too many questions. Thank you for asking questions, guys. But this is a 35-minute podcast already, and I don't think we're halfway done. Why does Connolly Early look like a different pitcher than the one that debuted last year? I think the answer to that is probably small sample and familiarity. There's something to be said for both things. Last year, Connolly Early comes up. He got up really late. Let me pull up these numbers. Connolly Early for the Red Sox last year didn't debut until September 9th. So, they call up this guy, and the league just hadn't seen him yet, and he's a lefty with all these different pitches and stuff, kind of a unique look. And 29 strikeouts in 19.1 innings. They trusted him in a big playoff game. I don't think that went super well. That was when Schlittler kind of put him to bed, but he was awesome. And then this year, it hasn't been as awesome. This year, 23% K rate, 9% walk rate. Still has not gotten beat up by any means. 3.3 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. The answer is just that last year, he wasn't as good as he showed last year. His stuff isn't fantastic. He just has a lot of pitches. He's got 6 pitches that he throws above 6% usage. None of them are fantastic, and the league just kind of, with the tape out, with the data out, you gotta adjust. The league's gonna adjust, and you gotta stay on top of it. So I don't think he's a different pitcher this year than he was last year. I think he just kind of got somewhat lucky and took advantage of nobody knowing, not having much tape or data on him or whatever, and that probably going on. But 14% K minus walk for Early this year. 337 expected WOBA against. That's a little bit high. 245 expected batting average. He looks pretty much like a league average guy. He's basically a league average pitcher. Long term seems good. I think he can turn into a solid SP2, SP3 in real life, not in fantasy leagues. Fastball is 94, about average. Everything looks pretty average for him. So I don't really think you need to hold Connolly Early forever in like a 12-team league, but I think he's good, and he's got a lot of options, a lot of different things he can explore as he morphs and changes and figures out what works best, because not many young pitchers have this many pitches that he can locate. He locates them all really well. So tepid on Early, but definitely not, I don't think he's like junk or anything like that. I'm having a hard time buying fully into Caglione because of the chase rate. Do we see him as ultimately being a streaky but frustrating player? It's hard to say streaky because he's never had a good streak. Right? He's just been kind of dumpy for his entire short career. He's played 123 games now, but he's hitting all of 208 in the majors last 2 seasons, 653 OPS, 15 homers, 4 steals. You just have trouble getting rid of someone like this because of the talent level. He's got a 110.8 EV90, Caglione, 109 on fly balls. He hits the ball so hard. He's has some of the best raw power in the league. And that kind of guy always just seems like, okay, he's one adjustment away, right? And what happened to I'm on V1. Dang. I've been using the wrong dashboard this whole time. A lot of those numbers I just told you. Yeah, I switched these dashboard links, and then I got on my other computer, and I didn't have the right ones. So a lot of the numbers I just said are outdated by a week, but nothing should have changed too bad. Everything I said still applies. It's just the specific numbers might not be quite the same. But I'm pulling up the new one now because we got to talk about the launch angle with Caglione. His strikeout rate's not it's a problem. It's 29.9%. That's really high. But it wasn't a huge issue for him last year. And he's got an 80% zone contact rate, so I don't think he's not like a 40% potential Spencer Jones like K rate hitter, and I think he can drop that down a little bit. The question is just like, can he lift the ball? And he has been doing that more lately. He's got double-digit launch angle over his last month. Ground ball rate's down to 40%. He's close, man. Like the fly ball rate keeps ticking up, and he's hitting the ball really hard every time. 356 expected WOBA now. You're right about the chase rate at 33.3%. That's pretty high, and especially with a 49% swing rate. He doesn't swing that much overall, but he chases a lot, which is never a great sign. But these are things that you can fix kind of like overnight, like real quick. We saw these problems with Nick Kurtz. It only lasted like a month, and then he figured it out. But with this kind of talent level, it could explode off. But in a 10-team league, I don't think I would have him anymore. He's only got 8 homers. It's been better lately, so I'd be riding it out now to see if he's really onto something here, but the problem is just launch angle and a little bit of strikeouts this year, and those two are not uncommon things for young hitters, and they typically get fixed. I mean, pick like a current stud hitter and look at their first like 100 games or whatever, and most of the time it's not that impressive, and they get a lot better. So, not saying it's definitely going to happen, but not a lot of guys hit the ball as hard as Caglione, and that's a big sticking point there. Honest Miami fan Brian Wu, spelled wrong, bro. Bryan. Honest Miami fan, has been terrible. Is this who he really is, or is this just a bad stretch of outings? He's not been terrible. I mean, I guess he's had a few terrible starts. But let's see, 24.5% K rate. Okay, so that's way down from last year, 27% last year. But a 1.00 whip. He's got a 4.6% walk rate. He's got a 20% K minus walk. And, when he's gotten himself into trouble, it's because he's given up some homers. Give up 5 earned runs last start on 9 hits, though, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. Like, that's not the kind of start to panic about. He only gave up 1 homer in that one. A 7-0 K to walk is a good sign. Hits can happen. That was a high BABIP game. Before that, he had 7 scoreless innings, 9 strikeouts. He's got, looks like a handful of 6 or 7 scoreless inning starts, and the strikeouts have been actually really good lately. Going back to May 10th, 5 starts, he got a 31% K rate. So, it's not even a bad stretch of outings. Like he's got like 4 bad outings. He put 2 of them together, late April, early May. But other than that, it's just been kind of like really good, except for here and there a bad start. So, I mean, absolutely, Brian Wu is still a top 25 pitcher to me. Do not panic on him or try to get him cheap if you can. Henry Frasca, are you the guy? Maybe Fresca has to be the greatest like soda alternative drink, except maybe these prebiotic ones. Olipop is really good. I've been drinking those. I like how it says prebiotic. Like, so if I put what you can convince yourself there when you're drinking an Olipop prebiotic is that you can put a bunch of whiskey in it and you can call it healthy because it's prebiotic. Pre meaning before, bio meaning body, and tick meaning blood-sucking bug, right? So all of that put together means good, no matter what else you mix it with. So those are good, but Fresca is just incredibly tasty. I know it says sugar-free, and all that means is that they put in some other kind of cancer. Like, it's not sugar, so you feel good about it, but it's just some other thing that'll give you cancer and kill you, but it's harder to pronounce. Sugar's pretty easy to pronounce. That's all that is. So you don't really be fooled by that, but Fresca's great. Your last name is Frasca, though. So you're probably not the guy who invented Fresca, but maybe you are. Maybe you just typed your name wrong into Twitter. Happens. But he asks, have Screwball and Brown coming off the IL. Do I drop Bradish or early? Ooh. Tough one. You might have already had to make this decision because it's going to be Tuesday when a lot of you are listening to it, and that's Hunter Brown's start day, and Screwball already started. I would drop Bradish there. That's an easy, quick one. Not easy one. Those are pretty close. I wouldn't blame you going either way. But the walk rate for Bradish is really bad, and Early doesn't have that problem. And Early at least has a better overall pitch mix than Bradish, who is way too dependent on the 2 breaking balls. Is Blaze Jordan legit? What are your thoughts on him? I put a nice Twitter thread out on that just yesterday, so look back on my tweets. I know that my Twitter feed is hard to scroll because every morning all those automated tweets come out and you have to scroll and scroll and scroll. But what you can do is go to X and go to search and type from FROM : John PGH, JON PGH space Blaze Jordan, and you'll find a nice thread about that I did yesterday, and it shows you how to use the minor league tools if you're a paid subscriber to really up your game there. Jordan, though, real quick, has some power, not elite. Play discipline. He doesn't strike out, but he swings a lot, so he doesn't walk a lot, and big league pitchers will probably exploit him, but enough power, enough air pull to hit some home runs, but I just don't think it's anything exciting. I think like Isaac Paredes, decent comparison maybe there, a little bit of a different way of getting to it, but nothing amazing. But he, the discipline's always good to see. I hope the transition a little bit more, but he's not going to be a fantasy stud anytime soon. A couple more. Dirty VXD. I think it's time to look at a replacement third base, especially for Austin Riley. He went another week without recording a counting stat. Wow. Did he really? Austin Riley, he's been so bad. I think he's just, I don't know. I don't know if like the early years of Austin Riley were just total fake out, or maybe just the injuries have gotten to him. But yeah, I did those re-ranks for hitters, and I put Austin Riley, I think, out of my top 12 at third base. But I have to say that you are, this is the old one too. Hold on. I got the old box score dashboard up. I got to fix this. Where's my VA? Because you said that you went a week without a counting stat. That seems like almost impossible to believe. But let's see if you're right. Austin Riley game log, June 14th. He had an art. Yeah, wow. Look at that. His last counting stat, meaning runner RBI, was June 6th. So that's 6 straight, 6 straight games without a homer, obviously, run or RBI. 28% K rate for Riley. That wasn't unexpected. It's about where he's been. He was lower than that one in the good days, but that's where he was last year. Home run rate's down to 2.8%. Barrel rate's low. Everything looks really bad. It's time to look at a replacement third base, especially for Austin Riley. And J-Ram. Yeah, J-Ram's out for a few months now. Hammett bone. A lot of interesting options. Royce, Lawler, Noelvi. Let's see. Royce Lewis, I think you add right now because just maybe he's just going to go on a barrage of homers again. He's done that in the past. Went down to AAA, started crushing, comes back up to the majors and hits 3 home runs like immediately. 1 for 3 yesterday, but he stole a base. So he's got a 12% attempt rate. He's got 6 homers, 4 steals in 39 games. So yeah, I would add Royce Lewis. Just, you expect another soft tissue. He's going to pull an oblique at some point. Jordan Lawler also just got back. He's had a tough injury history this year in the majors. 29 plate appearances. Hard to really say anything about that, but 24% K rate, a homer, 4 steals. He's definitely going to steal bases. Don't know if he can hit. I haven't seen him. We've seen like less than 50 games from him. Or what's 28 plus 14, 42 plus 8. If that's good math, that's exactly 50 games in the major leagues in his career. And it hasn't gone well typically, but, very talented 24-year-old kid. If he's finally healthy, you might see that. So I'd be interested in that in a deeper league, but Royce would be the priority for me right now. And Noelvi Marte, same story as Lewis. These guys both got demoted at the same time. 218 average, but let's see what's done. Oh, wow. Here we go. 3 homers in his last 3 games in the majors. Noelvi kind of played at like a 2020 pace last year. He had 14 homers and 10 steals in 90 games. It's not quite 2020, I don't think. Wouldn't be a 20 steal pace, but he's up to a 42% attempt rate this year. That's way up. So Noelvi, if he can figure out launch angles and stuff and play every day, then yeah, I'd probably be interested in adding all 3 of these guys. Dropping Austin Riley, I don't think it's that crazy actually. Especially, you need somebody. J-Ram out. I would add, I think Royce and Noelvi is what I would do there if it's a roto league. Points league might be a little bit different because Noelvi's got like not much walk ability. All these guys could be terrible. I don't know, but there's tons of talent there. I like taking a shot on those guys. I would say go for Royce, see what happens there. Fall back on Noelvi and Lawler's there too. But keep a close eye on all 3 of those guys as we get more data on them. Randy Duber, Nolan McLean, please. Nolan McLean, my guy. Nolan McLean has just been hard to understand. He has a 10% walk rate now. He's got 12 walks in his last 3 starts. We're going to see him pitch today or tomorrow. I think I need to do that DFS preview. We're really behind today. I don't know. It's going to be frustrating. The whiffs are like gone. He never had a high whiff rate, but he was striking everybody out at the beginning of the year. I don't know. I kind of throw my hands up with these Nolan McLean type dudes, like just so much movement on the pitches, and sometimes that can just cost you command. If you're not locating them, they get pretty easy to just let go by, and doesn't really have a four-seam fastball. His fastballs are bad. I don't really like them, but a 10, 12-team league, I don't think you can cut him or anything like that. But it's been rough. He's got 22% K rate and a 13% walk rate in his last 6 starts. So it's been rough. I wouldn't hold on for too much longer if that keeps up. You just can't trust the dudes that rely so much on called strikes and breaking balls and stuff. Well, that's not a very satisfying answer to you, but I have no idea who Nolan McLean is or who he'll ever be. Jayhawks season, KC Sports, Kingdo ones, Taylor Wardworth rostering. No, I would say, unless it's a points league where you like those walks, but Taylor Ward is the most stubborn person I've ever seen in my life. His swing rate did it get over 30%? Yeah, he's been doing a little bit more. 32% swing rate now, still incredibly low. 3 homers, 4.5% barrel rate, 402 OBP. Does the OBP count? Do the walks give you points? That's the only reason to roster the guy, and even then, like, there's better options. He just doesn't do it. Couple more, one more maybe, and then I'll check again to see if anybody else threw anything on. That's not the right one. Or was that it? Maybe that was it. Yeah, that was the end of my screenshots. Let's see if anybody else replied. No, I don't see anybody else. Okay. That's it. This is going to be another poor transition to the end, but I didn't know that was the end of the list. There's your questions answered in 50 minutes. Goodbye. Stay happy.
MLBDW solo pod with John Anderson. He's lonely and sad and monotone.